So let me quickly jump back into the PowerPoint if I could. Maxwell happily works with ISIS, i1 Pro, or anything dropped into a hot folder, which means it can support a wide variety of things. The Digital PressWatch solution is really ISIS based. It doesn't have to be XL, but the idea is a full page target with the barcode. The truth of the matter is it could be configured to be used with any instrument, but the real advantage comes with a full page target, so it would need to be a full page target style instrument. Could it be a DTP70 or something like that? Yes, but we don't drive the DTP70 directly, but you could drop those into a hot folder, so the routing capability, that kind of thing, would be a little more manual on your part, but it certainly could do it. There's no problem with that. And is there measurement averaging happening? We're not doing measurement averaging ourselves. The ISIS inherently does that as it measures across the patch, but we're not doing measurement sampling ourselves. I just wanted to talk about how we sell Maxwell. Now, typically, we're actually introducing new pricing with Digital PressWatch, so this particular slide is actually inaccurate, I'm afraid. But most of Maxwell is sold by the track. Now, a track generally corresponds to a device. So, it might be an inkjet printer or a digital press or something like that kind of idea. You can certainly have more than one track per device. If you have a proofing system that does several simulations and a full gamut output, you could sample each one of those and track them each. But we don't do, because it's cloud-based, we don't do startup fees, we don't do per seat fees, we don't do per server or per user. If you want to set up a system and have 1,000 people sign in to look at some reports, go for it. It's not a problem. We wanted to make sure that the cost of the system to our customers reflected what they needed to do as far as data gathering and the costs that we would incur, of course, in supporting this kind of system. But otherwise, it would leave it wide open. It makes it easier for you to organize stuff within the system because you're not trying to get around some pricing thing. And it's just more straightforward. Now, with the addition of Digital PressWatch, though, we have changed it a bit, and it is, in fact, it's the only one that we've done this way so far, it is priced per press per year. And I'll get into that in a little bit. We don't bundle it with services. We don't bundle it with consumables. And so those of you that supply services make great partners to us. You're not competitors to us. We want to work with you. We want to customize the system if we can, or at least adapt it to the things that you need. And we've got some great results with customers and partnership situations in the field. And there we go. So I wanted to talk a little bit about reporting because it comes in a number of different forms in Maxwell. There's the label or measurement time reporting that you saw. There's the inline reporting, which you also saw as I was navigating through Maxwell and the browse method there. And you can see these different pieces. There's also a timeline that allows you to overlay different data one on top of another, and it syncs it up timeline-wise. So if you want to look at the average delta E of two different presses or something, you can take a look at those. But this new feature that we've been working on, and it has some capabilities now, we'll have more basically within this quarter, is this multidimensional reporting. And this thing has legs. This thing it's going to take a while to start demonstrating to people all the things that can be done with it. But the idea behind it is that when we gather all of this information, it's tagged and organized in the database system in such a manner that it makes it very easy to pull it out for reporting purposes. So you can start asking the questions, or your customers can start asking the business kind of questions, like how is this plant doing, or how are all of these device types doing. So you can do it by geography, you can do it by time, or you can do it by the equipment. And soon we'll be adding a customer component, which means your customer, whoever the job's being done for. And so you can start to break it down by how are we doing on digital work for a certain customer, or how are we doing on all the work for a certain customer last year, and how does that compare to this year. And the user interface is fairly straightforward to build those queries. It's not like it's a database query system or some complicated thing. You just set up a series, what we call a series, data series, and then it'll go into graphs. You can do reports on it and all sorts of stuff. The flexibility is amazing, and it's the sort of thing that we really want out there so that the experienced users in the field can start pulling the information that they want from the cloud, generating meaningful reports, and then ultimately having them generated automatically if we need. So this we're happy to talk about more offline, as well as take suggestions or information you might have about it. So a few numbers about Maxwell just to let you know where we are. We have over 42 million measurements in the system right now, and it's growing continually. So we have thousands of registered devices, and it's used by Fortune 50 companies all the way down to sole proprietors. We use this same Maxwell infrastructure to do our custom profiling business for the photographer side of things. We have a color valet solution that we do for that, which allows unlimited profiling of a single device for a period of time. And photographers are loving that, so it's great. So we can adapt the system for different uses. We can also do it in different imaging industry segments. So one of the reasons we've won some of our larger customers is the flexibility of the system. For instance, one of them, all the targets are in RGB. Obviously the printing isn't in RGB, but they send their work to their service providers in RGB, so that's how they wanted to monitor it. And that's okay, we can do that. So we were able to configure Maxwell to do that. There's a lot of flexibility in the system. The pricing for Digital PressWatch, for one press for a year, is $9.99. Bundling brings it down. Basically, the more presses there are, the less it'll cost. We have another bundle for 3 presses per year, which saves $500 off that. We're also bundling it with the ISIS and the ISIS XL. They're a great bundle. X-Rite loves that idea, as you can imagine. We have a bundle that we're offering. But also, we have a special. So the ISIS and ISIS XL, $35.95 or $44.38, are those with, I believe it's a single press year with either of those. But we also have a limited time special. If you're looking at buying an ISIS, this is an ISIS XL at a very good price with basically PressWatch thrown in as well. So contact us offline if you're interested in that. But if you're interested in bigger things, I mean, we adjust the pricing sometimes if the company is very large or doing a lot of data coming into us. We've modified things to make more sense. So, if you have 1,000 presses, it's not necessarily going to be $1,000 per press, as you can imagine. At any rate, let's wrap this up. Thank you all for your time, and hopefully we will see you at some trade show soon. The next one we're at, as I mentioned, is Phoenix at the PIA Color Management Conference in December. So, thanks all for your time.